There. Do you see it? Exactly. It is interconnectivity. It will occur exactly 3 more times. It is the trichotomy of pigeons. And again hit by a human being, the trichotomy is now dispersed. And they are gone. Because what does interconnectivity really mean? The term first arose in 1996. It was the year of Scream, Independence Day, Fargo, Twister, Tour de France 1996 and the introduction of .nl by de Stichting Internet Domeinregistratie Nederland, or ISDN. Interconnectivity, I was told by my first grade teacher when I was 7, is already present in 87% of the world, 69% globally and 15% locally. It is thus an innie, not an outie. Let us have a look inside. To interconnect, one needs a fine mix of germs, dengue mosquitoes, dust, and wires. Many, many wires. For instance, last night I was at Jean-Pierre's place, but then he said he was at Brody's place the night before, and Brody had been with Hans, Friedrich, Wilhelm and Giovanni the night before that. And then Giovanni had been with his dog Chico that morning. And the night before that, Chico had been eating Ingrid's Chihuahua's discharge. And then Sugar, which is the name of the Chihuahua, had been eating leftover chili she had found in a dumpster the night before that. And thus hence the fact that I had a burning sensation when I went to the toilet this morning. So there you have it. From micro to macro, the world is full of interconnectedness, and for everything else, there's a gaping black hole. Numbers. Many, many numbers. This is an 8. It is associated with home carrying and car carrying. It is made in the EU. This is orange. It ranges between 100 and 204 and 8. It is an E number. The higher the number, the darker the colors. These carrots come in 6 different languages. They are between 45 and 60 centimeters. They were bought at 6 different international discount stores operating in 6 different countries. They are number E666. The E stands for Europe. Subtract E666 with 51, and you get E107, or yellow 2G. It is now gluten-free. The quality can sometimes also be indicated in a brand name. For example, Ene Beste, OK, and Knauf, which is Swiss German for not bad. To test the quality of the produce, one can also squirt a tiny amount of highly diluted substance in the original product using a needle which can go up to 6. I use a plastic one for extra fiber. The original product is always of best quality. Now I usually accidentally create a bit of an overspray, but that's alright. There's still plenty left to inject in the already moist soil. And the wetter the better, or at least that's what my mentor used to say. If the quality is okay, Knauf, or the best, it will turn in a few months' time into nice, big, juicy, plum local tomatoes from Spanish origin. The difference between Snel Gips and Plâtre de Modelage are visible on multiple levels. On the left side there's Snel Gips, on the right side there's Plâtre de Modelage. Snel Gips, as already its name announces, is fast. Plâtre de Modelage is model-like. Snel Gips dries fast and is easy to use, but rather than getting a smooth and crack-resistant finish, or perhaps the better word here is finesse, Snel Gips dries as a much more structured and detailed layered entity, giving it a deeply unique yet rough patch of work. It literally exposes the grain of the plaster. And besides its highly individualistic features, it is great value for money as it saves quite a lot of time. It is therefore dogmatic in its approach. All in all, it is a great, quick, creamy white filler, providing an immediate yet profound and complex result. Plâtre de Modelage is versatile. It creates fine details from the smallest lines to the most subtle textures. It dries solidly and is usually quite quick at it as well. Its soft superficiality hides its clear, fragile brittleness, with only some fine aesthetic moderated cracks to accentuate the otherwise smooth, solid, matte surface. This no-nonsense product needs only little moisturization to gently but firmly mold, and then to harden. Due to exterior conditions, it can be the case that it needs an extra component to harden better. If that is the case, one can always use a hardener. By and large, Plâtre de Modelage is a fine quality product providing beauty and aesthetics. Now restored by Cohen Media in a 30th anniversary 4K digital cinema package, or DCP, Maurice is being redistributed all throughout Europe in independent cinemas after its 1987 premiere. With compassion, humor, and detachment, the 140-minute movie is set in the complacent and fixed world of pre-WW1 Britain's privileged classes. And with a production budget of only $2.6 million invested by Cinecom and Channel 4, the 35mm film's sophistication and intimacy is a brilliant literary adaptation of the original content holder. It is also much more than a period piece. It is timeless in the larger sense of its luminous depiction of an individual struggling. It is candid and lucid. It also contains full frontal male nudity. It is R-rated. I've always had a love for explosions, and I don't really know why. I think it started with my childhood pyromaniac tendencies, but now already for 10 years it just doesn't do it anymore for me. I guess I'm looking for instant gratification, so to speak, rather than a slow build-up. And maybe I'm becoming impatient in life, or maybe I'm just painfully bored. But whatever the case is, I just want it straight away. I want to have a big bang, a giant outburst, a surge, a violent eruption of excitement. The bigger the explosion, the better. I have recently started making my own explosions. For this, I will usually go to local shops to buy local products. For instance, I got the hydrogen peroxide at the Kruidvat, which is really not that expensive, and the powder I got at the Carrefour. The green stuff I got at Marks and Spencer's. It's got a fine mix of hydrotropes, surfactants, and salts. The acid I got in Mexico, I think. Yet, although I'm following the instructions very carefully, so far the result has been quite underwhelming. The instructions say, pour the hydrogen peroxide in a small cup that says XXX, detract 6 by means of a needle, and extract the liquid into a metal can. Pour the remainder of the XXX liquid in the metal can as well. Color it with E132 blue to give it blue, and then very carefully add the green. In a separate measuring cup, pour in the powder, add the lukewarm acids, and stir well. And then the instructions said I should let it rest for about 2 minutes, and then quickly but with a steady and affirmative hand, pour in the mixture into the can of the mixture. The result was less staggering than the pictures had described it. It was more milky white with a bit of bluishness that would only slowly rise and pour all over the table. A weak explosion indeed. In my later attempts, I was much more focused on the expulsion through a more streamlined cup. I therefore chose for the intensément pétillant or intense bruisende flask. A longer shaft with a thicker head would definitely do the trick, I thought. I also decided to add more powder, acids, and hydrogen peroxide. Now, although the eruption was actually bigger, I have yet to achieve the art of true explosions. Perhaps next time I need to shake the flask a little bit. That is the Egyptian goose. It was introduced in the United Kingdom more than 300 years ago. But due to cold winters, it struggled to survive, especially because it was accustomed to have sex in January. Since the 1980s, the numbers began to rise, starting from a small town near Norfolk to the entire continent of Europe. You can recognize it due to its ancient Egyptian makeup style. These are the rose-winged parakeets. Originally from Africa and South Asia, rumor has it they were accidentally set free as exotic pets in the early 70s, and are now roaming numerous cities in Northern and Western Europe. They are sexually dimorphic. These are Arion vulgaris. They are slimy. This is the Asian hornet. They are colorful and sting very well. These are worms. They are quite exotic. This is a cat. They come in various colors, and if you feed them, they will suddenly like you. Or not. These are again worms. They sometimes come in pairs of 2. These are mosquitoes. This is a pigeon. It goes well with a bit of garlic, figs, and polenta. They usually come in pairs of 3. The cat still doesn't care. These are reintroduced Asian water buffaloes. These are birds. And these are cows. And this is the European polar bear. It will be dead soon. And this is a fly.
You put your middle and ring finger in the back hole and thumb in front, and then you just take it to the gutter.